Welcome to another episode of Comedians for Change, Comedians for Business. My name is Jyrrod Trust, and this video is about being fearless. We need to be fearless to get what we want, and it's scary, and it's hard, and it's going against the tide, really, to be fearless. People look at an oak tree and say, that is strength, that is strong, that is immobile. That's true strength. But it's not. Especially in this day and age, the most powerful force on earth is water. Water. You need to be like water. You cannot stay in the same place waiting for an opportunity to come to you. You have to rise to the occasion. You have to be like water, molding like a chameleon to the times, to the ebb and flow of life. The greatest victories in life, those were made available because of something dangerous, because of a crisis, because something bad happened. Princes became kings or beat other princes or took territory because of something bad had to happen. And that essentially became an opportunity for princes or our most successful leaders to achieve greatness. A great victory can only be obtained after something terrible, a crisis, something awful, bad, dangerous happens. A lot of people look at, and our minds tell us that when something happens, or we lose something, or we're defeated, or we're in a bad situation, that's negative. That there's not opportunity in that. That things are just bad. And we retreat and we wait, a lot of us. But we need to change our minds. When bad things happen to you, that is an opportunity. You need to look at life and all bad things that happen, everything that happens, things that are completely insignificant. They might have seemed insignificant, but with that comes true opportunity to act, to change, to use that to your advantage. George Washington, 1776, became the leader, the commander of the American army. Now, he looked at this as a curse. This is a bad thing. They were defeated, sporadic. There's a few of them, no supplies, no food, no rations, during one of the worst winters ever. And the reason we have freedom, the reason we are here, this is America, is because instead of waiting for an opportunity, instead of waiting to get more troops, instead of waiting for the golden opportunity to come to us, to him, to regather himself, to after the defeats, to get more food, to get more troops, he was an opportunist. He said, we hit now. We attack now. And he crossed that river and he had victory after victory after victory. Because of his losses, because he had few men, he was more mobile. He was able to move and just completely decimate the British. And now we live in America. He didn't wait. Because if he had waited, it would have been too late. And I want you to look at that with everything that happens in life. If you want to be successful, if you want something, stop waiting for these few and random and maybe this and maybe not at all opportunities to come your way in life. Stop waiting for that person you think you're going to meet someday who's going to make you or make things happen for you or give you all this money. You have to use what you have, even if you have barely anything. Because It's from our greatest defeats in life. It's from the moments where we have nothing. We've lost everything. These are the moments where we're capable of the most, because we are forced to get creative. When things are good, that's when you need to be worrying. That's when you need to be fighting. That's what you need when you know. When things are good and stable, that's when you know you have to fight the hardest. Because it is inevitable that everyone you know, your job, your family, everyone is out for their own self-interests. And if you're relying in any way, financially, stability, housing-wise, on anyone, food, anyone other than yourself, you are not self-reliant. And those people, it is inevitable that one day, or if something happens, or the tides change, if you're not moving and flowing like water and looking out for your self-interests and building something every day while you can, you have no guarantee, you have no security whatsoever. And as much as people seem like they love you, their family, doesn't matter. It is human nature to look out for ourselves. Self-interest. Your boss, he's self-interests. You serve a purpose on his team. And sometimes unforeseen forces can change everything for you in a moment. So when things are good and secure, that's when you need to be worried. You need to be fighting to be self-sufficient. When things are bad or hard, that's the time to act. Stop waiting and act then, there, now, with what you have. It's when times are hard, when we have nothing after crisis, where we use whatever we have. We get creative, we get inventive, we get desperate. And that's why successful people, look at 50 Cent. Get rich or die trying. You need to create that sense of urgency in your life. Urgency. I can either make it urgently or I'm gonna die. 50 Cent was 12. He had lost his parents. His mom was murdered. He had 9 bullets. He was shot with 9 bullets. This was right before he was shot 9 times, right before he was about to release his first record and blow up in the industry. Okay, that was his golden opportunity. He was shot 9 times, no parents, barely survived. He got shot right through the cheek. His record label said, "We don't want to work with you. We can't. There's too much violence associated with you. You have people, assassins that are trying to kill you from these past drug things you did. And we can't do that. We're sorry, 50 Cent. You need to lay low, and maybe, but probably not." Instead of laying down and dying and let his assassins finish him off, which they were planning on finishing him off, they couldn't allow him to live, he went under the cover of darkness for a few years. He developed himself. And you know what? Because he was shot, he developed that lisp, which made him it was amazing, and we were all part of his fortune. That was one of the most successful fortune stories, rapid upward movement of success in history. His story. And you know why he made it? Because there was that sense of urgency. He had people who were trying to kill him. His record label dropped him. And it was at that point where he was more free than he'd ever been. He had no money, no resources, and he couldn't put himself out there or his assassins would kill him. So he lay low. And he was by himself with nothing, and he focused on his music using what he had to market himself. And the way he blew up, to finish this story, is he created a song called F You. And that song, with his new lisp and his new developed style, is what made him, he put it out there for free. He didn't pay out all this money to market. He let people have it for free. He was like a ghost, spreading his music around. And that created momentum. And he looked at the people trying to kill him, and he released this FU song, and it was so raw and powerful and real. And he looked at his killers in the face and said, F you. Because he was free, he started creating creative, and he had incentive, urgency. So he started releasing stuff so rapidly. And it was free, so people are downloading it. People are interested. And then he created momentum. And once you have momentum, and once you act in that fearless manner, there's nowhere to go but up. I don't care what you want to be or what you want to do in your life. What can you do for yourself today? Don't make any more excuses why you can't do something, because there are people that are in a lot worse position than you, friends. You wouldn't believe what people go through. And a lot of those people end up extremely successful because they gain the momentum, because they're focusing on themselves, because there's a sense of urgency, so they're rapidly creating and being resourceful with whatever they got, because it's either do it or die. And my friends, I don't mean die physically, but if you stand still and wait too long, and by the time you get up your legs have frozen over, it's too late. So stop waiting, or I don't believe it's ever too late to do something, but stop waiting. Because maybe by the time you try and do it, I believe you can do it at any time in your life, but maybe you could have done so much more if you'd stop waiting. Have a good day, friends.